Everyone, let's start setting up our first node project. So generally this will be the initial step when you set up any node based projects. It could be a test framework or it could be a real-time development projects. So we're going to do that through just four simple steps. We'll start with creating a folder, which is going to be a simple one, and we'll start doing a command called npm init. Optionally we can provide -y to answer all of the questions. And once we have done, so this will create a package.json file. We'll have a quick look at what are those fields, and then we'll just get a sample npm package installed, and then we'll start using it. So it's going to be a simple one. So I'm using Mac, so obviously probably you may be using in a different Windows machine, but the steps are going to be the same one. So let me go to my working directory. So generally the convention would be you can go to documents. It could be your Mac or Windows, and then you create a workspace, and then you create a new folder. So the new folder can be, let's name this as JS for automation. Is my spelling correct? Automation, yes. So first step is clear. So we have created a folder called JS for automation. So let's navigate to that folder. And I'm using iTerm. Optionally, you can also use the terminal, comes with the default Mac machine, or command prompt in Windows. So pretty much it is different style, but doing the same thing. So we can use this here. So let me navigate to the folder, cd documents, and then it's in my workspace, and then the name of the project is JS for automation. That's it. So we are in our current directory. JS for automation is the directory. We are here. So we are done with our first step. So what is the next step then? So let's do issue the command npm init. So what is it going to do? Let's start doing that. Npm init. So I'm not starting with -y, otherwise it will just by default answer all of the questions and then create the package.json in the directory. So also ensure that you are moved to the current directory inside the folder. So you are actually inside the folder. And then now let's issue npm init, and then you can see this utility will take you through creating a package.json file. This will only cover most of the common fields. So obviously we can add more fields into the package.json, that we'll see them later. So this is asking me to suggest a package name. So this is generally the package name when you install any external package from npm. And this is what you see. Whatever you provide here, that's the general name. So I'm going with the default one. I'm going with the default version. I'm just saying this uh, JavaScript for test automation. Let me capitalize this. Okay. An entry point, generally the index.js will be the general entry point, which means we'll talk about them later. And then test command, anything you want to provide. If you have a Git repository, you can optionally provide that. And keywords, author, you can provide, license, everything. So once you're done, you just hit enter, then this gets created your first project. It's as simple as it is. So now if you look at to open the code from this directory, we know the command code space and then dot enter. So this is going to open up the editor. Now you can see that. So I'm just putting it here. All right. So basically now our working environment is set. So we have created a sample node project. Just from there we can learn a lot of the core of JavaScript. So now we have done it. Let's also quickly have a look at what we have done and what are those. Basically it created a package.json file. As you can see that this is a name. So generally this will be the name. If you are submitting any open source project or you are pushing anything to the npm, then this will be the name that somebody will search and get that the package for you. Or internally, a lot of your team members, when somebody clones your project, and this will be the name. Version of it, so you can keep incrementing as many times as you make changes. And description, whatever you provide, and main. So this main field, I'll tell you that this is an important one. So when you deal with an external npm package, to understand what are the initial starting point for that package, then you go and understand their main field, whether it is index.js. This is where they put all the startup script, startup functionality, how they have been organized the entire project. And the script is an important one, so we'll be using it in test automation a lot. So under this scripts, anything that you provide as a command, that will get executed. So for example, if you execute just test alone, whatever you provide, this will be the actual command line command. Basically anything that we provide will be passed on to this console, and then that's get executed. So in our test automation, generally, what do we do here? We'll say smoke testing, smoke as a key, sanity or regression or shakeout testing, whatever. So anything you provide, that will be the command, and then equivalent command you can pass it this. So irrespective of any framework, you should be able to use the same thing. And author, you can provide your name and then license of it. So you can also add additional fields if you want. For example, if you put a comma and then start typing type, this also additional field. You can see that it is auto suggesting whether you're going to go with the common JS or the module. So we'll see them in detail, but for now let's go with the basic setup. So we should be good with this. So now you understand this is our first step of creating a node project. So this creates a package.json successfully. But is that all it? So basically, what is the meaning? So we can start using this, the entire ecosystem of npm, so that we can get the package and start using it. So just for our demo purpose, I'm going to just get an npm package. Let's start searching npm, and if you go here npm and then start, let me, for example, maybe we can go with something called a random string. So a lot of our use cases, basically what we do, we wanted to create a random string, maybe just to form a file name or passing a unique file name or unique identifier to the DB or any API or whatever. So this will get us do that. So for example, I'm just matching as a random string here, and this is my project name. This is what it is. So just for the demo purpose, this is how we search any of the external package and get the we'll get them into our project and we'll start using them. So this is just a sample to show you that how we can export or we can import the external packages. So here they have provided the documentation. The npm install will just install this command. Optionally, you can click this one. This will automatically copy into your clipboard. So now we have done. Let's go ahead and install this package. So how do we then install? It's going to be a simple command. Let me clear this and then go npm install, and then you can pass on the package name. The package name there was, it was random string, isn't it? So yeah. So this is one way. Optionally, what you can provide, if you install this, this is going to get installed in the main and the dependencies. So we'll talk about them dependencies. What are the two different dependencies? One is dev dependency, another is general dependency. So the general dependency will all be there in production. That will run in the production environment. But dev dependency, particularly if anything related to testing side, that will all be installed in the dev dependency. So I'll generally, what from a testing point of view, what I would suggest you install anything that you do with it, install under the dev dependency. How do we then do it? So if I just type in npm I, this is an alias of install. Otherwise, you can also type in the full install, npm install, and then you can just provide an alias of -d. This is meaning that's the dev dependency. Optionally, you can also just expand this and say that save dev, and then install the package. What is the package name that we are installing? It is a random string. So this will be the general convention I will be using. Install npm install save dev and then the name of the string. So if you install this, yeah, my spelling was incorrect. So it's a random string, not a ran. Now you can see that it gets installed. So basically it is downloaded the very relevant packages. So what has happened in our project? Let's have a quick look at them. Now if you look at this, there is another field created called package.log. So basically this will resolve all the interdependency. So if you come from a Java background or anything, for example, you have the pom.xml, so that where you keep all the dependencies. So something similar to that. Now, if I close this one, we also see another folder created. You can see that node modules. So node modules have created this, and you can see their external package, whatever you imported. So you can see that the whatever the author has exported the package in npm. So they have developed this project, and then you can see all of them, whatever they were using for their internal management. So we do not have to worry about too much into this, but it's good to understand where our package is sitting. So now it's sitting there. So how do we then start using it? So I'm not going to do anything extra. I'm just going to follow their documentation and start using it. So they've said you just require this and then start having a method called generate, and then that will generate some of the random string. So it's as simple as it is. So this is how we deal with external package when we wanted to use external package like Chrome driver or any other external package for dealing with the APIs or any of the framework. That will all be the same. Now let's go ahead and then Okay, let's create our first project. Let me create under this directory. If you click on this button, it's just going to create a file. Let's say that this is a random string.js. This is my file, and whatever they suggested, generally what do we do when we import any package? Generally we can go with a constant. We'll see what are the different types of variable, but we'll go with a constant and then say random string equal to require. We'll talk about them, what is require, why we are using this command. But for now, let's go ahead and do this, and you can suggest that the random string automatically coming in. So this is because I've installed the extension called the npm IntelliSense. That's where it is just prompting to use this automatically. All right, so now we got this package, and how do we then use it? So let's create a random string. Let's say this is a random string equal to random string dot generate is the method. So you can see that it is auto populating. So by default it supports the TypeScript and JavaScript, so you should be able to see this. So if I just simply console this out, I use the one of the other extension to generate this ES code snippets. You can see this JavaScript code snippet. So this, if you install this also, the easiest way, you can, instead of typing console.log, so you can just type in that cls console.log clg, and then this automatically gets you the console.log. So optionally you can just delete this, and I want to print the random string, not that one, so this is the one. So if I have this one, so this is how when we deal with an external package, we require them or importing them. We'll see the difference later, and then we just start using their method, whatever they provide in the documentation. They say generate will give you the option of generating it. And now if we just run this program, so we know how to run this. Let's clear this console and then say I want to just run this program. So the way we can run it, pause the node. You should be on the directory, you should be inside it, otherwise it will not able to find this file. So you should be here on this directory. It is called JS for automation. So just if you issue the node command and then provide the file name. What is the file name here? It is a random str is a file name ending with the JS. If you just hit enter, you see this, there is a random string generated. So this is how we start using the external package, and obviously this random string can be used for any of the files or any of the unique identifier that we wanted to use in our project. So by now we understood how installing a sample node project, and we also used how we can use up the external one of the external packages. So that's all for now. We'll look at the next topic in the next session.